All right. Looks like we are up and running here. Welcome, guys, to the New Age Investor episode. I believe this is number 6. And I'm going to be doing this one literally, very differently than the other ones. I'm actually going to be doing these live from now on because I've actually had a request for people to be able to come in, tune into the live stream as we do these podcasts. So I'm going to do that. Now, if you just bear with me here for just a second, I'm actually going to share this link with our groups. By the way, if you are not already in our groups, if you're watching this podcast, what you can do, I'm not sure if there's a link in this description, but in plenty of my videos, I'll probably add it to this later on. There is a free Telegram group that you can join and get access to. So, like I said, I'm just sharing that link right now. But we are going to be talking here on the live session here. We're going to be doing just a quick podcast. It's not going to be charting. I see a couple people tuning into the stream and there's a chat, and you should be able to read that chat as we go along here. But I want to do some of these podcasts more on the regular basis, and doing them live is a little bit easier for me to get them out because I do a lot of editing and do a lot of, content creation, as you guys probably can imagine. So I want to do some live sessions here about just trading related stuff, just kind of some talks, right? Some fireside chats, if you will, about what we do here on YouTube and some of the things and steps that are required to becoming a consistent and profitable trader. But here's the thing about my podcasts. People overlook, in my experience, in my opinion, people overlook the necessity of mindset when it comes to trading, right? Everybody wants to hear about the technical breakout pattern that's going to be perfect and it's always going to work, right? Everybody has their their interest in looking for that perfect technical breakout or making massive money, but nobody wants to really talk about the mindset and the dedication and the discipline side of things, because that's not what is, as exciting. It's not as fun, right? So people don't want to talk about that. But today I'm going to try, and for those of you guys who are tuning into the podcast live or watching it back later on, we are going to be doing some concepts. Sitley says, is that a blanket in your background? It is. And I'll tell you why right now. I'm actually in the process of setting up a more permanent studio. This is my bed sheet, which is, I know it's super sophisticated here for the backdrop. I know, and it's not the best quality, but in the future we will have, a studio set up and all of that good stuff. So stay tuned, stick around. I know, bear with me here as we get into the later stages of my YouTube channel as I grow here. It sure is a blanket. Don't get it mistaken. I'm using a blanket as a backdrop for now, before I create a more permanent studio here. But so today I want to talk about what kind of the mindset of a successful trader is, because people tend to, like I said, they want to talk about what's fun. They want to talk about what's exciting, which is, those perfect technical setups and all of that stuff. But nobody wants to talk about the mindset and the discipline and the dedication required to be a successful trader. And in my opinion, guys, this is more important than any technical analysis that you could ever do. Because, and I'll tell you why. Having the technical side is great, but if you don't know how to manage your own self, you have to master yourself as a successful trader, right? Because you can be the best technical trader in the whole world. You can create, the best charts, you can create the best analysis, come up with every great idea for your trading. But at the end of the day, if you can't stick around and be, profitable just based off of your ability to chart, you need to have the mindset, the risk management, and the mental state that is, it's going to make you a profitable trader, right? Because you have to be able to stick to the plan. You have to be able to deal with tough times. And let me tell you, if you don't already know, trading has some tough times. There are some times where your money is not doing well for you, right? People think that trading is going to be some sort of, only up. They think that their price, their equity is just going to go straight up. And that's just simply not the case, right? What works in trading is long-term dedication to this craft, long-term, the ability to adapt and work with the markets. And when things are not going well, you don't give up, right? You get tough, right? You get two choices. When things get tough in your trading, you can either A, give up, right? Just like most people will give up. And when things are not going immediately their way, they give up and they say Forex trading is a scam. It's impossible to make money trading Forex, all of that junk, right? That's loser talk. It is possible. I know multiple successful, consistently profitable traders. Are they making millions every single day? Absolutely not. That's not what the Forex market is about. But there is ways to create profitable and consistent track records in the world of currency trading. But it takes dedicated people. Every successful trader I know, guys, every single one, has a few things in common. They have dedication. They have passion. They have humility, right? They're not out there saying, they're not beating their chest and saying that they're the best trader in the whole wide world. In fact, they're quite the opposite. They say, they have the mindset of, I adapt with the markets, I flow with the markets, and I take what it gives me. I don't, try and be the big shot on the market, because anybody who's trying to be the big shot and call it all in the market, they are losing money, I guarantee you, because that's not how trading works. The market does not reward arrogance. The market actually rewards people who are patient. There's that quote, I'm going to butcher it here on the stream, but Warren Buffett said something along the lines of, the stock market, and in markets in general, really, the stock market is a instrument for the impatient to pay the patient. I know that's not perfect, and someone can correct me if they like. Jova Capital says, new subscriber here. Appreciate your videos. Very inspirational. It's inspirational to me that you guys show up and actually support what I'm doing. So I really do appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for all of you guys who are tuned in to the stream today. I figured this would be a quieter stream, but for those of you guys who are listening, thanks so much for being here. We are going to be just talking generally about stuff that makes the correct mindset for successful traders, right? The things that really do matter, and most people will overlook. Most people won't pay attention. But for those of you guys who are here, those of you guys who are listening, I really do appreciate you being here. And I think you're doing the right thing by listening to that mindset side of things, because that's really what's the hardest part about trading. The hardest part is not setting up a technical trade or catching that perfect breakout, because technicals, you can learn them relatively quickly. What takes a long time to learn in trading is the fact that, you need to learn how to master risk management, master your emotions, master your mentality. These things are hard. Those things are very difficult. But the technical side of things can be kept relatively simple, right? So with that said, the other side of things, I mentioned earlier, you can either A, you can give up, or B, you can get tough. And that's kind of what we just talked about. Getting tough in the markets means, accepting that things are not always going to go your way, accepting things are not going to be perfect in the world of trading. And if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for something where you can put your money in and a week later you'll have doubled your money, you're in the wrong place. In fact, the best place for that would probably be to just go to the casino or do something else, right? Another great way to make a lot of money is to start a business, but that's not easy either, right? There's no such thing as easy money. And in Wall Street, the saying is there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? There's no easy, quick money. So if you see anybody on the internet who's trying to tell you that there's something in Forex that's easy money or quick money, do not follow that person. Do not trust that person. There are people at every corner that will tell you that Forex money is easy money and that you can make quick bucks by just following what they're doing. Do not listen to them. They are lying. They are not selling genuine stuff. The genuine truth about trading Forex, the genuine thing that nobody wants to hear, is that the Forex market can make you rich, but it's very, very, difficult to get there. You can get there. I know people who have, and I know a lot of people who are working towards it. But there's another thing that's important, and that is learning to surround yourself with the right people. One thing I would say, one of the best investments that I've ever made is the people that I'm surrounded by. I have a girlfriend. She's great. I have my dad, who's really, really, into this stuff, and he pushes me and motivates me too, right? Surrounding yourself, and most importantly, right, one of the biggest ones is surrounding yourself with other traders who are successful and consistent, right? So I have people in our VIP group. We have tons of people in there. Many of you guys who are listening right now, you guys are members with our team. And let me tell you that a lot of people, they look at my service and they don't have an interest in the members community, and that's cool. I understand that. Some people just want the easy answer signals, but that's not really what I offer. What I offer in my team, and I believe is more valuable than just signals, is surrounding yourself with probably the best team I've ever found in the world of trading, right? We have some really great members. And I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about the many people who put in work and effort to work with traders in there on a daily basis. You can pull that chart up or that community chat, our community group, anytime. And there are people discussing, there are people helping each other out, there are people working together. And to me, surrounding yourself with winners, especially in the trading world, is key because there's so much negativity, there's so much negative energy that surrounds us in our life, right? Everybody wants to tell you to not do something risky. Everybody wants to tell you to just, stay at a normal job and never do anything that's hard or risky, right? Because nobody does that. Everybody wants the easy path in life, but really, nothing ever came from the easy route, right? Nothing ever, worth getting came from just being normal, just being, just kind of middle of the road, right? We want to do something bigger. A lot of people who are in the world of trading and investing, they are in there because they have visions for the future. And rightfully so, right? It's important to dedicate yourself and look forward to the future. Forward thinking and investing for the long term is huge. It's so key to long-term success. And by surrounding yourself with people who have a similar mindset, right? Because traders, dedicated traders, experienced traders, I'm telling you, they're some of the coolest people you could meet because they understand that it takes dedication, that it takes passion, that it takes hard work. And those people are on another level, right? Successful traders, are they necessarily smarter? No. That's something I want to get out here in the podcast today is they're not necessarily smarter than you. If you're not a consistent trader and you're listening to this, and you think about successful traders, I remember when I was learning trading, right? When I was a newer trader and I was not consistent, I was not profitable, right? I had this vision in my head of successful traders being these gods of the world, right? And they're just so intelligent. They know where the market's going, and they must know something that I don't, right? That's what I always thought, and that was the image that I had of a successful trader. Now, years later, consistency kind of has shown me that it's not necessarily being smarter. It's more so being the person that continues to show up, that continues to learn and continues to improve, and understanding that there's no easy path. And in fact, successful traders are not sitting there printing money. Sure, they can make a lot of money, and that's completely, the possible route for a successful trader. But more importantly, they're not always winning, and they know that that's okay. Okay. As a successful trader, it's about knowing that in the end, if you let your edge play out, you can be a successful trader and you can become consistent. It's not about thinking that they just print money and that they're right every single time. I know traders, guys, that win only about, I want to say 30% of the time, 30%, and they're still very consistently profitable traders. You may ask, well, how are they doing that with just such a low win percentage? Well, simply put, they're actually trading, they're trend traders, right? So I know a couple people that are successful trend traders, but listen, could you handle a 30% win rate? For some people, they just couldn't handle it. That's so few wins. That means that if you put on 10 trades, right, 7 of them either hit your stop loss or met your loser criteria. 7 trades out of 10. Imagine doing that every day. That's a lot of losing, right? You have to lose again and again, and it's not easy. And that's mentally taxing, especially when you have times where you're losing even more. You could lose up to 15 times in a row trying to follow trends in the market. But those same people, that is the kind of motivation, the kind of dedication, right? The mental toughness that makes them consistently profitable. The fact that they can take a 30% winner and let their winners run to the point that they're making consistent profits overall, longer term, right? They know that day to day, they could actually have a losing day, and that's totally fine. But longer term, they know that their edge is going to play out and that they're going to win in the long term, right? So that's huge. Could you handle a 30% win rate if it meant you were going to be consistently profitable? Well, you don't know that you're going to be consistently profitable. So it takes mental strength, right? It takes understanding that this is not going to be a cash in, cash out game. It's not going to be you printing money from the markets every single day. It's going to be a long-term investment. And, I think the fastest I've ever seen someone go from not consistent to consistent brand new to successful in the Forex market was 1 year. I believe I know one person that it took about a year. For me, it took about a year and a half to 2 years, maybe even longer. But I'd say 2 years is probably a rough guesstimate of how long it took me. But let me tell you this, guys. It took me 2 years of nothing but consistently studying the markets, listening to other people that I consider my mentors, right? Finding people on the internet that you feel like you can trust. It's not easy. And even if it's not me, even if you don't like following my stuff or you're skeptical about me, I'm not asking you to necessarily follow me, but I am asking you, find somebody, even if it's in your real world, even if they're not a trader, learn from somebody who knows something and study them, right? If you see a successful person in your life, if you see somebody who's successful in anything, success is not industry dependent, right? A lot of times people who are successful in one thing can be successful in a lot of things. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to be. In fact, a lot of people who are like CEOs and successful people in other parts of the world, they actually fail as traders because they bring too much arrogance to the game, right? Or they think they're going to be perfect at this, and it's just not easy. It's not an easy task to become a consistently profitable trader. It's actually, if it was as easy as just being a good technical chartist, right? Then everybody would be rich because there'd be easy ways to make money from that. But here's the thing: charts change every single day. The markets change every day, right? So you, as a trader, sure, charting and technical analysis, that has its place. It's important. But remembering that you have to be able to flow with the market, learning to adapt, that takes time. That's why it doesn't happen overnight. You don't get to be a consistent, profitable trader in a week because it takes time to learn how to flow and adapt and trade the market successfully. It's almost like this kind of, I don't want to call it magic, but it's almost like it's kind of this, like, you get into a groove with the market. You start feeling the way the market's moving, especially if you're studying a few markets in particular, right? I actually only trade about, I want to say 10 to 20 currency pairs total, right? I mean, I trade stocks, but I really don't trade a ton of stocks. Studying a particular market, learning how it flows, and learning how you react and mastering your own emotions is key, right? It's so huge. But again, I want to touch back on that concept that we just talked about with the 30% trader. The 30% trader that I know, he has some serious, consistent, motivation's not the word, but serious dedication, okay? Serious mental strength. This guy can take losers 7 times out of 10 and still stand up and take another hit. Imagine, 10 trades go against you before you lose, right? That's significant. Howard Ayres says, I'm sorry, but 10 to 20 isn't that low. So for currency pairs, 10 to 20, you have to understand, I'm looking at most of the majors, right? So I'll study the Aussie, I'll study the US dollar, study the euro, and maybe the Canadian, right? And the Swiss. So that's like actually 5 currencies that I watch. And it kind of spreads out to about 10 to 20 total currency pairs that I'll consider for trades. So I am studying kind of the way, for example, the Swiss moves, or studying the way the euro works, right? So you can study those markets and find tendencies for those kinds of movements, right? So the 30% trader, right? 7 trades in a row, guys. Most people, including me, I'd have a hard time getting up and taking that 8th trade, right? If you had 7 losers in a row, most people, they're going to look at that. They're going to see that they're losing 7 times in a row, and they're going to say, this is not working. It's not working for me. I'm quitting. I'm giving up. 7 trades in a row losing is too much, right? But not for this trader. Not for the 30% trader that I know who is consistent, right? That person, he gets up and he takes that 8th trade, and that 8th trade pays for all the other ones. That's kind of the power of trend trading, right? It's not easy. It's mentally taxing. Trend trading is very difficult if you're using, a tight stop or easy, if you're trying to let your winners run and get rid of your losers pretty quick, inherently what's going to happen is you're going to have a high lose rate and actually a low win rate. Now your winners are going to be much bigger, but you have to be able to take up and swing the bat again, right? It gets tiring to consistently be told no. It's like constant rejection trying to be a trend trader, and it can work. And I know, successful trend trading people. So I do appreciate all of you guys tuning in and being here with me on the chart. We are just doing a live podcast. I don't plan on making it too much longer, but I wanted to just kind of get here and talk with you guys about some things that have been on my mind. I really do think that the mindset side of being a successful trader is just as, maybe even more important than all the technical side. And you guys know I'll keep coming with more technicals and helping out you guys with analysis and strategies and education and all of that good stuff. That has its place. It's important. Don't get me wrong. But it's also important to pay attention to your psychology. Pay attention to understanding that sometimes it's that guy or girl who's willing to take that 8th trade that is really going to, in the long run, be successful. It's because you have to understand that this is not an easy game, that it's actually very, very difficult. Now, charting can be relatively simple, but understanding that profitability comes from, consistency, dedication, passion, hard work, and maybe the most important is understanding that it's painful to be successful. There is never a time as a successful trader that things become painless. Sure, you can become accustomed to and become, okay with drawdown, but there's always some level of pain required to be successful and consistent as a profitable trader. Because here's the thing, trading is never easy, right? It's never where you just put on a position and it goes right into profit just like you wanted to and how you fantasized in your dreams about. Unfortunately, that's not how trading works. And people who claim to have the perfect system where it's always right, they're not telling you the full truth, because the markets don't quite work like that. You can have high accuracy, but inherently, high accuracy comes with, good technicals, but also even then, even high accuracy, you're going to have losers. You're going to have times where things are not going to work out your way. And trading is mostly about how you handle the trade once you actually are in it. Okay, most people think that the trade is all about the entry, but I would argue that more important than the entry is actually the exit, because the exit is a combination of technicals, right? You want to have a good technical exit, of course, right? Risk management. Is your position too big, too small? Do you add to a position? Do you remove from a position? Do you add on a winner? Do you add on a loser, right? All of those things. These are concepts about being in the trade and dealing with a trade that's either going for you or against you, right? Because the entry is not as important, in my opinion, as how you manage the trade after it's in motion, right? How are you going to deal? You need to have these questions answered, right? You need to know, how are you going to deal with a winner? Are you going to close it quick? Are you going to let it run? All of these things are things that you need to have thought out before you take a trade. A trade should be, you should be comfortable with the outcome no matter what, because you should have all of these things thought out. How are you going to manage your risk? How are you going to close the position? What are you going to do if it's right? What are you going to do if it's wrong? And you should be okay with the fact that if something goes against you, if something is wrong, it's okay, because the markets are not perfect. The markets are not going to respect your technical analysis every single time. And I think that's such a common mistake, is because people think that, oh, there's a technical entry here, I'm going to put a huge position on and I'm going to make a ton of money real quick. And that is the most common way I've ever seen in all the trading that I've done, watched, and helped people with their trading, right? Because I work with a lot of traders. The biggest mistake that I see is people thinking that their technicals are perfect, putting a massive position on, and then losing a bunch of money because the trade didn't go exactly as they planned, right? To me, like I said, the most important part is learning to adapt with the market and to work once you've entered your position, what's going to happen next. If you're using a tight stop loss, that can work, right? But you have to understand that most of the time when using a tight stop loss, your stop loss is going to get hit because the charts are not perfect. Now you can use a tight stop loss and then cash out on a big winner, right? Let's say we go back to the 30% trader again, right? We have somebody who is losing 7 times in a row, and then that 8th trade comes along and it doesn't hit his stop loss or her stop loss, but it goes wildly into profit and closes for a nice gain that covers all of the losing and brings a profit, right? Learning to flow with the market like that That is so key in long-term success. So I do appreciate you guys being here. I hope that you did get something out of this. I'm going to read these comments before I sign off here on the podcast. Thank you guys very much for being here. I do appreciate all of the support that has been coming into this community. We've really grown, and I thank all of you guys for being a part of what we do here. So I've had some people, I haven't really been reading the chat as we go along just because I've wanted to focus on what I'm saying, but I'm just going to quickly, before we wrap up here, take a look at some of these comments. So tired when people do say bad about me when I'm becoming a trader. I'm not even a friend, you know. Okay, yeah, so Lukeman brings up the point that sometimes people will disrespect you in your journey as a trader. People who don't trade themselves or think it's gambling, or they call you stupid when you lose money. That stuff is hard, right? And I actually have another podcast episode that's all about removing negativity, because guess what? People are going to keep doing that. Lukeman, and for all of you guys who feel that way, okay? People are going to continuously challenge you at every single turn. Even when you're winning, right? You'll have a winner and people will say, yeah, but that might have just been luck, right? The only thing that casts off negativity, well, there's two ways, really. One, you can just remove yourself from it. But the other thing is success. Don't listen to other people. Focus on actually becoming that consistently profitable trader. And then when you get there, don't go bragging to them. No need. Simply say the next time they ask, hey, how's your trading doing? You know, because they think you'll be losing. And you just say, you know, I've come to harmony with the markets. I'm not looking to make $1 million overnight, but I'm becoming consistent one day at a time. I'm getting there. Right? Over time, you know, things are improving. I'm learning more and more from the markets. And many of you guys are here, you're tuning into the stream and you're investing in yourself just by being here, just by listening in. Learning from other people is one of the best ways to do this. I know people who are consistently profitable traders, and there's no reason why it can't be you. But you have to be dedicated enough to actually show up, put the work in, and long term, it will and can pay off for you, right? Okay, so good question there, good point. So Howard says, I started trying out what you said about consistency over big wins, and it's been going good so far. That's great. You know, learning to become a consistent trader is not a 1 week mission. It's not a 2 week mission. It's not a 1 year mission. For some people, it takes years to become a consistently profitable trader. But in the meantime, why not hang around here on my YouTube channel, meet some traders who have been successful, work with people who know something about something, and learn from them. Write notes. I know people who take notes on my videos, and that is the coolest thing to me, because I did that stuff when I was becoming a consistently profitable trader. I was taking notes on my mentors. I was listening and taking in every ounce of information that they would give, because this is free. What you're hearing right now is free information, so take advantage of it. Okay, so let's see. Drunken Monkey says, being confident is to have the ability to actively focus on better performance, not success. Success is the bonus. I love that so much. And I would add on to that, you got to love the process. You got to love becoming a profitable trader as much as you want to be a profitable trader, because you have to love this stuff in order to do it for the long term, right? I love that. Thanks for sharing that, Drunken Monkey. Improving performance is how you manage and react to your trades. And of course, analysis matters. Absolutely. How you manage the trades, how you react to a loser, how you react to a winner, right? These are questions. These are things that are important to consider about your trading. Jova Capital says, is it possible? Can you do a tutorial on how to set up a 4-hour chart from scratch? Higher time frames, support and resistance, trend lines, etc. Jova, I would invite you to come tune into some of my streams, because we do analysis all the time, and I do charts from the bare basics, right? I use nothing on my charts for starters, and sometimes I'll add indicators, sometimes I'll add other things, but for the most part, I keep things relatively simple and use price action primarily, okay? With a combination of sometimes some fundamentals as well. So, over 1,000 subscribers. Yes, we've made it over 1,000 subscribers. It's been Awesome. I'm telling you guys, one of the coolest things for me is there was a while where I was doing this and nobody would show up, nobody would listen. But I just kept doing it because it's like Drunken Monkey just mentioned. You got to love the process, really. You got to love doing this. You got to be able to show up and keep doing it. And for me, one of my passions is working with traders, teaching people on YouTube and creating an audience and giving back to that audience. I've been doing a lot of giveaways today lately because I've just been enjoying the fact that you guys have been supporting this channel so much. People send me messages about, hey Nick, can you do a video on this, all that good stuff. That is the sort of thing that makes this easy for me, is the fact that you guys put in so much effort towards this community too. That give and give back is just keep going, right? Because more people send me messages, more people ask me questions, and it continuously grows what our community has become here. Seriously, guys, thank you so much. Emu says congrats on the 1K. Howard says congrats as well. Abdul says always support you, man. Appreciate you guys very much. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I hope that you got something out of this. I plan on doing these more often. I know a lot of people listen to the podcasts and they enjoy them. But I wanted to do them live because I want to see you guys in here. I want to interact with some of you guys. I know that there are questions along the way, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I hope that this has been something helpful. If it was, make sure you give a like to this video, because that will let me know in the future when I'm looking back through my content to see what's doing well, what people are reacting to. If you're liking this, if this is something you want to see again, first of all, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, but also make sure you like this video, because that will let me know that, hey, you're enjoying this and I will do it again. So thank you guys very much for being here. I hope that you got something out of it, and we will catch you on the next stream. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great rest of your day.